or something that everybody may relate to, they may not relate to. So this one is going to be about sex. So if you got any kids around, send them out. Okay, it's going to be grown folk talk. So as always, like, subscribe, comment. Um, your thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your reality. All right, Mark, what you got? What you got?
No, I'm just going to say, hey, everybody, again, welcome. Thank you for joining on a beautiful Saturday afternoon to take time out. Appreciate it. Anybody that is tuning in or listening on Spotify. I think it's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to talking about this topic. So I'm just ready to get it started. And, like I always say, STS, but we're going to, cut that, say that for later. But I'm ready for you to kick it off, and I'm going to follow your lead on this one.
All right. All right. So, like I said, today's topic is about sex. So I know some people might be saying, okay, this topic seems kind of juvenile. We're all grown adults. Who in their right mind is actually going to use sex as a weapon in a relationship? Now, I actually have experienced this before on several occasions, unfortunately. Whatever the case, I'm going to let it stay private because I don't want to expose that person. But unfortunately, there are some people out there that use sex as a weapon. So a weapon could seem kind of extreme, because most people, when they think about a weapon, they think about a knife, a gun, a bat, something that's going to cause harm or death. So it sounds extreme, but when I say a weapon, because they're using it basically to kind of destroy the other person, or the best word to probably use is manipulate or manipulation, because that's basically what it is. So I'm just going to use, for example, when I was in a relationship, I thought things was going pretty good. And one particular time I noticed she wouldn't shave, and some women, when they grow hair, it grows a certain type of way. When she grew hair, it was like a Brillo pad. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just really, really coarse. So it hurts. So when she didn't want to have sex, she wouldn't shave. So instead of just saying, I'm not in the mood or whatever the case is, she wouldn't shave. And then, I'm getting down to it, we kissing and whatever, and we, just heavily involved. And then at the last minute, she's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I didn't shave." So it was starting to become a pattern, and I started to notice it. So, and I finally pulled her to the side and said, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Well, if you want me to shave, then you shave me." So basically, she was saying,
Yeah.
if you want some of this, you're going to have to shave it because I'm not shaving it. Right. So to me, that's manipulation, weapon, or however you want to, coin it. It was basically, she was using that against me to her advantage because she didn't want to do it. So if I wanted to do it, then I have to shave her in order for us to have sex. Right. So that's just one example. But I know people just when I was like in the military and, a soldier would come up to me and tell me, the stuff that was going on in his home. And the brother was like sexually frustrated. He's like, I don't know what to do. I talked to her about it. She'll come up and say, well, her period is on. And she would like tell him, well, if you want to do this, if you want that, then you have to do this for me. So that's what I'm speaking of when I say using sex as a weapon in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to start off with that and get your input.
Yeah, I mean, this one, yeah, I'm still trying to decipher it, but yeah, I guess to me it would be manipulation is the way I would probably word it. Because a weapon, you're right, that sounds more extreme, more like you're trying to hurt someone. So I'm sitting here thinking, what kind of experience have I had like that? The only ones I can honestly say that I've ever had in a relationship where she will do that is she would not do anything. Like she would just withhold doing it. She wouldn't do anything. She'll find a way to argue or say she's tired. That was always her number one excuse. I'm tired. I had a long day. I'm not in, and I just want to go to sleep. But she always tried to go to sleep before, I get in the bed. So that way it's already late. So she figured I just leave it alone. Or if I try to get her aroused or get her in the mood or get her to that point, same thing. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I don't want it tonight. Just, let me sleep. And then was when she wanted it, then she'll come and tell me, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. And it was kind of like, let me get mine and then go to sleep. So I guess that was the way I ever had experience of her, somebody weaponizing or doing something to
Mhm.
be more manipulative. Is that was probably the most experience I had. But other than that, it was ready and willing. So, I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. But yeah, that's the only one I can think of. I'm gonna try to, as the show go on, think of some other times, but that's the only one I can really think of right now that comes to mind is that one that I was with, and she pretty much just, like I said, it's always tired. It was basically an excuse for anything, a reason why she couldn't, a toe hurt, a pinky hurt, something, something ridiculous, basically, is the reason why she didn't want to do nothing. And like I said, the reason why I say to me is manipulation is when she was ready and when she wanted it, then we can do it. It was on her terms, not, on mine or mutual. It had to be her alone, and it's only when she wanted it. So that was probably the only time. And I felt like that was disrespectful because it's manipulating, saying no, only when I want to is when we can. And if I'm not in the mood, then leave me alone. I felt like being in a relationship, if you attracted to me and we attracted to each other, it should be organic anyway. It should be natural. It shouldn't even have to be a negotiation
Mhm.
or make a schedule. Like, what day are you available? Let's do next Friday at 10 o'clock. Can you, to me, that's what it kind of felt like. So I felt like that was she was using as a weapon in a sense. She only, like I said, I know I'm kind of repeating myself. When she wanted it, then that was it. Or like I said, we had to make a schedule, or it had to be with this day. The sun had to be out, or it had to be clear skies. Just ridiculous stuff. But anyway, pretty much that was one that I could think of right now. So
Okay.
go ahead and let you say what you guys say, and I'm gonna
All
see
right.
what else is
So
in there. Yeah.
I don't want it to necessarily be like a personal experience. So I'm just
Right.
looking at just the title within itself.
Right.
Like I said, some people are affected by this. So
Yeah.
I know it could be challenging to try to reach in and find out, okay, from my personal experience, how can I address this?
Right.
But just in itself, I take things deep. So I look a lot deeper than what it probably is.
Right.
So for me, like when you go into a relationship, those are the things that should be talked about, I would
Mm-hmm.
think. So, like me, I don't say a sex addict, but my sex drive is extremely high.
Mm-hmm.
So I let anybody know when I first, get into a relationship, my sex drive is really high. So these
Mm-hmm.
are the things that I expect. I'm
Right.
freaky. I like to get down and dirty. So if
Mm-hmm.
that's something you can't get with, then just let me know. We can keep it moving or whatever. So I'm
Right.
looking at it from that standpoint of, there's two mature adults. You're talking when you first meet somebody, and I think it's a little different if you're actually just dating somebody and you
Mm-hmm.
just so happen to engage into it. But I'm talking about somebody that's in a committed relationship, and for whatever reason, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, whether it gets dry or whatever the case is, and it's just not fun for that one person. Um, and I don't want to come at the women because I don't know any dudes that have any issues like this. So just like you
Right.
said, you never experienced it. So I think
Right.
it's more so women that
Mm-hmm.
does this than men. I mean, it could just be me, but
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm looking at the deeper part of it as far as if you know that you've met somebody and this person was transparent with you and said, okay, this is how I am, this is what I expect, and
Mm-hmm.
y'all go further into the relationship, and for whatever reason you get to a point to where maybe he's not doing something that he was doing before, or you just getting tired of it, and you just feel as though, you know what, I'm not even going to produce like I did before.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever reason, that person choose to pull back and then manipulate the person. and say, okay, well, like I've never heard of this before, but you got some people to whereas they only get head on a special occasion, on a birthday or
Oh yeah.
Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
And then when it first started off, it was popping, it was ongoing, and
Mm-hmm.
then later on down the line, it
Yeah.
starts to fizzle.
Uh-huh.
So I had that before too. It
Right.
started off, it was
Uh-huh.
on point, and then later on,
Uh-huh.
it started to fizzle out. And then it was okay, well, if you do this, then maybe I'll give you some. And I don't know if it was if the person was joking or not. I took it kind of
Mm-hmm.
serious, but like I said, it developed a pattern.
Right.
And that's when I seen it as okay, this person is using it to
Right.
manipulate me as far as to either stay in the relationship or to leave the relationship. Now I've seen some people do that too, opposed to just trying to break the person's heart or move on. They'll do certain things, like I said, the non-shaving, um,
Right.
or the granny panties, and they just putting things out there that
Yeah.
hopefully uh irritate that person and piss them off to the point to where they just pull back and say, you know what, I'm done. So
Right.
again, I know this sounds kind of juvenile. It could, well, not could, but it is like really low vibrational. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, there are people that's dealing with this. And I know some women, like I said, whether they joke it or not, that they would
Mm-hmm.
do that. Oh, I'm not going to give him some unless he do this. He ain't take the trash out, or he ain't buy me this for
Right.
my birthday or for Valentine's Day. So I ain't going to give him none. I'm just going to give him a little bit. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if any of your female associates or friends may have joked around or just, talked to you and was transparent about stuff like that. I have some that were like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm kind of addressing it on both sides as far as my personal experience and just,
Yeah.
hearing women talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to go backwards a little bit, when you started off with saying that it's something that you should talk about when you're in a relationship. I mean, I believe that. I agree. I think you should sit down, communicate, and say things you do and don't like, your expectations, because I think that is a big part. Because if you do like certain things and you express it and they don't do it, and they only do it, like you said, on special occasions, yeah, that is kind of uh controlling it and being like you trying to ration it out. But also, I also believe it should be how can I put this? It should be natural. Like some people you meet, like women I met, some of them was freakier than others, and I always believe that brings it out. Like I remember Jay used to always say, if you meet a woman that's freaky enough, she'll bring the freaky out of you. Or if you
Yeah.
freaky enough,
You
you'll
can
draw
bring it out of
it,
her.
or even if she says that I ain't like that, I don't do that. But if you that kind of person by nature, is
Right.
naturally going to bring them out. So just to hit that subject that we said in the beginning. But yeah, I know some lady friends that no, actually, no, none of them never said they were withholding. They would jokingly be like, "Man, he fucking up. I ain't gonna give him nothing tonight, or he gonna piss me off. So I'm gonna make his ass wait a month." So yeah, but that, like you said, that's not something I would say that's deliberately. It was more of an attitude, so she felt like she could withhold it. So I guess I don't know if dudes do that. I've never really done that. So I think that is more or less a woman would do that out of spite, knowing they have control of that. So I think that would be something that a woman would do if if she felt like the dude pissed them off, or if she don't want the guy. I had one dude tell me though, he did tell me that his girl, kind of like you were saying with your situation, where she would never uh shave or whatever, and she always wore unattractive lingerie or underwear, so it just kind of kept him from being appealing to appeasing to her because she never kind of put herself out there. So he felt
Right.
like she was trying to deliberately make him just walk away, like forget this, I'm not even gonna mess with that. Because he would ask me, man, what do you think, man? You think I should keep talking to her because she wear these ugly underwear and then she don't shave, and then she just, she's real particular when she want to do it. Like I was saying earlier about the schedule thing, like it's an appointment in a sense where she only wanted on certain days, or like you said, if it's your birthday, I give you some, or something special. So yeah, I know, like I said, maybe two people like that, but most of them, No, they not like that on the regular. But I do, like I said, I know those two people that's like that. Um, yeah, so I mean, I won't say it's juvenile, but it's something that is relevant. So, and as adults, we shouldn't be acting like that, but some adults do, do that.
Mhm.
And, women do hold back when they get an attitude or they feel like I call it passive aggressive. Hopefully he'd get it and realize that I ain't feeling him like that. And then, do stuff like that. Don't shave or wear the ugly granny panties and shit just to make it less attractive. But I really want women to chime in on this. Somebody, and if you got any feedback, because I'm dying to hear what a lady's perspective is on this.
Right, and that's what I
Nobody's
was more. I'm sorry, that's what I was more so looking forward to
yeah.
is
Uh-huh.
hearing feedback from women.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not trying to put it all on
Mhm.
women, but more than likely it's women that does it. So I'm just kind of curious
Uh-huh.
because when I ask the woman, it's always, well, it's you tripping, you just overreacting, there's nothing there. So I
Right.
want to know the truth.
Mhm.
Because for
Yeah.
me, I feel as though, like I was saying before, is if
Yeah.
that person is losing interest, they're pulling back. And that's just one way of doing it. Hopefully to discourage the other person to like I said, to pull out and say, you know
Mhm.
what, this is not worth it. I'm going to move on. Or the other thing I look at sometimes is that person seeing somebody else
Mhm.
because there's a loss of interest. I say it's a disconnect. That's what I call it
Uh-huh.
because just like you said, it should be natural.
Mhm.
So to me, if the energy is there and if true love is there,
Right.
now I get it. You got some people that work, hard. You got women as business owners, they're
Mhm.
CEOs, they're all kind of things that
Right.
have major responsibility. And if you got children, you got to come home, take care of them and so forth. So I get that part as far as them being tired and not in the mood. But
Mhm.
I'm not speaking on that. I'm speaking on to the point to where they know that, okay, it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks. And like I said, you started out in the beginning, things was just hitting, it was running. But
Mhm.
then for whatever reason, you start pulling back and you intentionally saying, okay, in order for you to get some, you got to take me out or you got to
Mhm.
purchase this, you got to take me on a trip.
Right. Mhm.
So that's more so what I'm speaking of as far as using it as a weapon.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
was
mean,
just about to hit on that too, when you just took it out my mouth. And I was going to say some women do that where they make you jump through hoops just to get it. Like the first time, oh, well, you want this, you got to do this, or you got to show me that you worthy. And they don't literally say it, but more the actions or what their expectations for you to do is how sometimes, a woman would kind of make you go far and beyond when naturally, if you're attracted to the person, it should be something that should be, by a month or so, maybe 2 weeks, whatever the time frame. And I really should put a time on it because it depends on the chemistry with each other. So, but if some women would do that, my point is, where they make you go far and beyond just to, just to say, okay, I finally give you some, or I do this or whatever, because they feel like they have that control in the situation, which I think women have more control of that than a guy would. And some of them do use it to their advantage and make you go and do extra just to prove, that you're worthy of it. So I was just kind of piggybacking off of what you just said about that. But yeah.
it's,
Did you get somebody say something or
no, it's no comments so far.
I'm surprised. There's somebody to say something by now, but yeah.
I don't think nobody would have put themselves on blast. That's why.
Yeah,
Um,
but they could use a alias name or something. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say who you are, just say, hey, anonymous person, this is what I think. Or you don't even gotta read the name of the person, just read the comment.
right.
You know what I mean? So that way they don't be exposed. But I get it though. I understand. But it would be nice to hear some women's comments on this. So if y'all out there, just somebody, speak, give us some input. But
So,
anyway, yeah.
how would you address it if that situation actually happened to you?
What, as far as if she what told me, or she ain't want to shave, or
Yeah. Like, would you think there's something going on, or would you just blow it off and like, well, maybe she's just not in the mood or whatever the case is?
yeah,
Like, I mean,
well, yeah, like I was saying earlier about that one relationship I had with old girl was always tired. And it was always something. Like I said, if it was too cloudy outside or something ridiculous, she had a reason why she didn't want to do it. So that's when I started to figure, okay, like you were saying, either you lost interest, or you ain't enjoying it, or it's somebody else that you messing with, so you ain't got the energy no more, or the energy or the attraction, so you kind of drifting off, but you want to use excuses instead of just saying, or telling me straight up what's going on. So I would handle it where I'd be like, look, okay, I love sex. I know you love sex, and we haven't been doing it. So what is the reason? And let's be honest here with each other and let me know, because I notice every time I try to be intimate with you, you got a headache, or you're tired. So it'll be some point where we have to talk about it, and she had to be and come clean and be honest on what is the reason. Because once or twice, if she did that, I'd be like, okay, I get it. It happens. But if it's a pattern and it seems like it's continuously going on, then it's like, okay, something's up. You need to let me know what's going on, because now you got me to the point where you're going to allow me to assume, because you're not telling me nothing but making excuses why you don't want to do it. So the way I would handle it, just say, look, we need to sit down and be honest with each other. Tell me what's going on. Why aren't we, active like we were in the beginning? We was always getting it on. And now I notice it's a trend where it's nothing and barely. So I'll tell us, look, we need to figure this out. Try something different, do some role play, something to spice it up. Like, is it you losing interest? Is it the same routine? So I'll just get in there, and we really have to go heart to heart with each other and be honest on what's going on, get to the core of why, we're not active like we were before. Because that would be a red flag at some point, because if I do that, and I've done that, because I'm flipping on me now. Actually, I did. It was sometimes when I was working two jobs. This was wild. This is back in like 2012. And I was with somebody, and I was literally tired though, and she would get mad because she had a high sex drive, and she always wanted. I'm like, hey, I'm tired. Not today. I just work. I just, gotta go to the other job. So she kept like, okay, well, at some point we need to do something, because I don't understand. What, am I not attracted to you? I mean, I'm not attractive to you. And I said, it's not that. It's just that I'm tired. So long story short, she got to the point where she felt like I was messing around on her, because she felt like I was keep giving her excuses, and I was making reasons not to do it. And if she felt like if you was attracted to me, you would try to do something to get, keep us going, instead of leading her have her thinking that she's not attractive anymore, and I just don't have no interest. So, now I'm sitting there thinking about it. Yeah, it did happen to me once where I was the guy actually, and it's not because I didn't want to do anything with it. It was literally I was just tired from working two jobs. But my point of this is that's why you need to, conversate with each other and get to the core of it. Because if you just kind of keep going with it and then get mad and be like, man, you just don't want me, and then it blows up into an argument, and then something bad might come out of it, because it was no dialogue, it was no conversation, it was no, let's figure out why we ain't being as active. So I feel like it has to be some kind of conversation at some point, heart to heart, not, oh, we'll talk about it later, or I'm just tired, I wasn't in the mood. No, we need to sit down, figure it out, close the door, lock it, and just let us know what's going on with each other.
you said
So,
lock it, huh?
huh?
I said, you said lock the door, huh?
Yeah, lock the door. He ain't going out. I ain't going out. We standing here till we figure this out.
Now,
Because if not, it's just gonna keep prolonging it, and it's gonna be the same thing over and over. So at some point, it has to be addressed and solved, not just talked about. You got to solve it and figure
yeah.
out something to do to make it get a spark again.
See,
Because
but
I think, yeah, go ahead.
your situation is different. Like, you was really tired. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like you didn't have intent and was like, you know what? I ain't gonna give her any. She gonna have to darn blast it, get my car washed, or she gonna have to buy me some new kicks
Right.
And until she do, I ain't giving her nothing. She ain't getting no head. She ain't getting nothing. That's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Yeah, well,
But
see, I
then
don't know.
she,
I personally wouldn't do that because it'd be what would be the reason? You know what I mean? Unless if she pissed me off, that's like you said, that's juvenile. That's being childish. So it would be literally, and I'm just speaking hypothetically. I'm not saying this is what I've done or would do. I would be like, okay, if I'm doing that, then maybe it is.
hey, your sound just went out. Can you hear me?
What goes around comes around. So they gotta be careful of that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the sound went out for a minute. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought you was about to say something.
No, but I don't
It's,
know if you've seen this. It's like a
mhm.
little video that's on, I think it was on YouTube. And that's, you know how they do the little skits and stuff. And it
Yeah.
was this one dude in a car, and he's like, this is
Mhm.
how you get your woman. When she tripping, this is what you do. So she got in
Oh,
the car, you seen it? And she was
yeah.
yelling and said, no more dick. And she just
Yeah, no
kept
more.
saying, like,
Yeah.
no more dick. So
Yeah.
now that, I never had that extreme before.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm
that's,
laughing because that's funny. I'm thinking about it now. Yeah. So.
I just can't see the dynamic of a dude doing that or a woman
Uh-huh.
being like, that heartbroken because she ain't getting any. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
some dudes out there that got it like that. I guess I don't got it like that. I can't do that.
Yeah, I would
But
say it is some women that's stigmatized, so they would be like that, and he say no dick, and she be all okay. I'm sorry, baby. So yeah, I believe it's both ways. Like some dudes is wide open, nose wide open, or whipped, whatever phrase you want to use, and I think it's some women that's like that. So yeah, that could work if if you know you got that pull, and you know that your sex game is that strong that you could manipulate and regulate when you want to give it to her. Yeah, I think that is possible. Now, again, is that fair? Hey, if it works for you, nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be just to be doing it just because you want to see and be a mean person. No. But hey, if it controls the situation,
I just
hey,
want to have that just for maybe a day or
right,
so, just for a week, just to see what it feels like.
right.
Just,
That's what I'm
just you know what I'm
saying.
saying? Just to see what the reaction would be, and just to see
Yeah.
her panting and stuff and getting upset and walking around pissed off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what? Actually, that has happened. See, now you got me reminiscing. That's why I was saying the more we talk, stuff will
yeah.
resurface and I start remembering. So I know a lot of people like you throwing your own self on the bus, and I'm just sharing experiences because I can't speak of nobody else. Nobody never really told me stuff that happened like that. So I mean, it was one where I did get pissed off, and I said I ain't gonna give her nothing because she's gonna be an asshole with me. So I'm gonna make her ass miss it. And it was like a couple of weeks, and she got mad and was wondering what was going on, and she thought I wasn't attracted to her, and what did I do to piss you off, and how come you don't like having sex with me no more? So yeah, and I'm not trying to act like I'm all that or saying that my game is that strong. If it is, it is. But it was to the point where I was controlling that and letting her know, like, look, you acting up, I ain't doing nothing. If you want this, you're gonna have to be a little bit more. And it went for about 2, 3 weeks. So
Mhm.
yeah, actually I did do that once upon a time. So to be answered, yeah, it works. You can do that. Now again, it wasn't because I just want to be an asshole. It was kind of I went that cause and effect because the way we got into it or whatever. So I figured being contrary, I was like, okay, we ain't gonna get nothing. I ain't gonna try to do nothing with you. So it just prolonged about 3 weeks, almost a month, I think, actually. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, she's ready to break up with me over it, but it's because she felt like I was just messing around. She ain't realize I was just being hard ass with her because we got into it, and I was like, okay, you want to play that game? I got you. So, so yeah, actually, yeah, you can't do that. from a guy's point of view. So if a guy can do it, you know, women can do it. So
No, I'm serious. I'm gonna try that out, but I'm not gonna be how dude was doing it. He was
yeah,
all funny about it. I'm gonna get a real deep voice and look at her.
yeah,
No more dick. And then I'm
right. Be
gonna
like, you
walk
ain't
out.
getting shit. Yeah. So you had to
Oh
start
man.
cooking and cleaning and everything else, damn it. No, that's
No,
funny.
but
But yeah, go ahead.
no, I did have an experience like that. I ain't gonna get a time frame, just in case, somebody's watching. But
Mm-hmm.
this was a certain time period, and I met her at the club or something like that.
Right.
And she wasn't bad looking, but I wasn't really into her like that.
Yeah.
And she would call up and be like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I know, I'm just chilling." And she'd be like, "Well, you want to come out to the club?" I was like, "No." And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, can we just go back to my spot? We get it on or whatever." I was like, "No, I'm good." She was like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Come on, please, please." I said, "No,
Uh-huh.
I'm not tonight." And she was
Right.
like, "Please, I'll take you out to dinner." I was like, "No, I'm good." And
Yeah.
she did that for like 2, 3 weeks straight. And I just,
Mhm.
no, I'm good.
Right.
And people call and stuff. "Hey, you want to go to the club?" "No, I'm good. I'm not going to go today."
Uh-huh.
So this was a while back. Like I said, I'm not going to disclose the time period.
Uh-huh.
But that, like I said, that wasn't in a relationship. So
Right.
my focus is the relationship. So
Yeah.
again, if there's women out there actually watching, somebody, I'm not going to beg you, but please, I am dying to know from a woman's mindset, why
Right.
would you do that? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
is the point of it? What's the motive? Other than
Right.
you're tired and you had a long day. But I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, again, when you get to that point and it's none of that stuff. Is
Mm-hmm.
it a game, or
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you're just trying to get that joker to leave
Right.
without you doing the dirty work?
Right.
So the Diamond Girl, she's not watching today. She quiet today. If she's out
Yeah,
there.
I know. I just knew she was gonna have some input. I guess this one's a little close for home. So she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a back seat on this one. So
That's what that's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody gonna drop no dimes on themselves. They ain't gonna let the
no.
game out.
So yeah, they all want to sit back and let us tell our stories and shit. But
Uh-huh.
but I mean, yeah, so I mean, like you said though, and from what I see from personal experience and a couple of acquaintances and associates that I know, sometimes when the fellas we sit around and talk, we pretty much say the same thing we saying right now. Is like the main thing is he said is she didn't shave. She was always the one, like I was saying, always had a headache was like a number one excuse, or she just didn't show no interest, or always go to bed real early, or ugly ass panties. So we like, I ain't trying to mess around. So it was just more or less that is the feedback I got from other dudes that we talk when we talk like that. So I never had anybody tell me anything where it was real extreme. You know what I mean? But hell, that's enough, in my opinion. Not shaving or the panties, because to me that's a day unless it's that time of the month. Other than that, yeah. And I think women even told me they do that when they ain't really in the mood, or if it's that time, that's usually when they wear the ugly granny panties. I was let me shut up because now I'm telling too much. So I'm gonna say less.
Someone told me that again. I didn't know if they was joking,
Yeah.
but they was like, "Oh, I didn't shave," and it's like I know what to do. I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, really? You do, huh? All right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm going to do that too. But I'm going to get them good. I'm going to get the massage table out,
Right.
give them a nice little massage, and I'm going
Uh-huh.
to have my shirt and stuff off.
Yeah.
And the massage is called Lumi Lumi or Lomi
Hmm.
Lomi. And it's
Yeah.
basically like you're using your entire body. But like I said,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not
Yeah.
gonna have no shirt and stuff on,
Right.
and I'm gonna drop my drawers. And I'm just gonna let
Uh-huh.
it dangle on them. Just tease
Uh-huh.
them with it. They
Yeah.
don't get them jokers so hot and wet. And when they ready, nope,
Yeah. You ain't
no.
getting nothing. Yeah, that'd be a good way to get them. Yeah, that's being a tease though, big time. Yeah. But that's what I was going to say also, and I think I already alluded to that, is the other worst thing, again, like I was saying earlier, is when some women will give little subtle things like, yeah, I give him this or that kiss, a little bit tease him, but I ain't giving him, as they say, the cookie or whatever. And they keep letting him do extreme amount of things before they even try to be intimate with him, knowing that they really want him, but they just want to do it just to see what they can get out of it. So again, that's kind of childish. Yeah, that's not really being a lady like if you do that, but I mean, it is some women that do that. So I
Okay.
know it's not a
So
lot. Huh?
Diamond Girl said she's texted, give her a second.
Oh, damn.
So second been up already, but anyway.
Right. Yep.
No, yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is serious though. Like,
Yeah.
all joking aside, I'm making jokes and stuff like that, but it's definitely serious. Like I said,
Yeah.
that soldier, he didn't know what to do. He was heartbroken. He was distraught, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt bad, because
Right.
I didn't know what to tell him. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, that's your wife. Like, you have to sit
Right.
down and talk to her. And I
Yeah.
ain't want to tell him, like, dude, she's screwing somebody else. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
tell you that, but
Right.
she if she's doing all that, then it's definitely somebody else in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
because
because I think, yeah, go ahead.
I said she wasn't working; she was the homemaker. So,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't have any kids, I don't believe.
Right.
So I was
So
like, yeah, she out there giving out coochie coupons.
yeah. So I guess the other part of this would be if that person or woman or guy is doing that, is it because of somebody else? Like you said, what is the interior motive? Why aren't they doing that like they used to? Is it because they lost interest? Is it just because they had a power to do it, or is it really somebody else that's they feeling or they thinking about or something? Because it still got to be some kind of interior motive behind it, other than you just want to do it for shits and giggles. Like it has to be a reason. So I think that's the other aspect of it, is if women do that, that's why I do want feedback from women, is an interior motive. Is it loss of interest? Yeah, they figure that's the only way to do it, or is it really somebody else that they kind of feel it and they just don't want to break the dude heart? But to me, that's even worse than just telling them. Is doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
or
like I said.
control.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna read this response from Diamond Girl.
Uh-huh.
She said, "I have had sex with hell as a weapon. My punishment was a bit different. I realized it was easier to leave than punish because it was only hurting me to stay." Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's very noble of you,
Yeah.
um, and mature, because some people would try to get back at the person.
Right.
So wow, she actually had a dude do that. That's crazy. Like I said, I don't know too many dudes that would do that.
Yeah.
So to me, that sounds like somebody that was using control. They was
Mm-hmm.
trying to control that situation, that relationship. So they
Right.
was using the sex to manipulate her, to
Mm-hmm.
try to get her to stay or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I'm asking Diamond if you can kind of get in that mindset of a woman that would do that. Like,
Right.
from a woman's perspective, why would a woman do that? So I'm just curious. I just want to hear one woman give their perspective as far as why um, they would use it as a weapon. And like I said, I don't want to use that word weapon because I think that's possibly throwing things off a little bit because it's real
Mm-hmm.
extreme. I'm
Yeah.
what I'm asking is, why would a woman, like I said, been in a relationship for a while, why
Mm-hmm.
would she pull back and just decide, okay, other than being tired and stuff like that? If that's not the case, why would a woman do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see what her response is.
Yeah. 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 That's like I said, that's more or less a question. Yeah, women have to answer that one because we can speculate, but at the end of the day, sometimes women intuition, they can speak on that better than we can. So because I mean I have my thoughts, but again, that could be way off from what an actual woman would say. So
Yeah. So
mm-hmm.
like I said, the psychological part for me is
Mm-hmm.
manipulation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what it is, pretty much.
Okay, she says for herself, she will only do it if she was being passive aggressive or not reciprocating a need. Okay.
Mm.
I can get that, but yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I already knew that. That's what kind of what that was. So I get it. I understand what she means by that. To me, that's like tit for tat, though, in a sense. But again, I can only go back to the same thing. It's one, manipulation or a loss of interest. It has to be something that only that person can tell you. Obviously, is the reason why. To me, it would be maybe bored, and she ain't excited no more, or it's too routine. It's the same thing, so it's no interest. So she just kind of feel like, nah, I don't want to do it tonight. So I'm just gonna do this to keep him from trying to mess with me, because I know that's going to turn him off. So that's why, again, I'm keep coming back to y'all guys sit down in the room. We have to conversate about this and figure out what is going on, or just try something different. Like I said, just come in and do something off the wall, shit different, to see what happens and how she responds to it. Maybe it's too routine again, and she just lost interest, and she just being passive aggressive is what I call it. Meaning,
Okay.
I ain't gonna give him none, or I'm just gonna not shave or do this because I'm being passive, but I'm being aggressive, letting you know that you ain't gonna mess with me. So that's something I feel like it has to be talked about.
Okay, so KJ says, as men, how do you recommend other men to keep the spark alive after years of being with the same person? Okay, so I'm going to answer this one. So,
Mhm.
those of you that people that know me, I'm always talking about energy.
Right.
So for me, it's an energy thing. If the energy isn't faded, then to me the sex shouldn't fade either. Because as long as that spark is not spark, but as long as that energy connection, if you're truly connected to the person,
Yeah.
because for me, when you're in a serious relationship, you're connected spiritually. The sex is just like cream on the top, so to speak, and you're just expressing that in that form.
Hmm.
So now, if you're going to look at as far as like using toys and stuff like that, I hate to say it, but that's more 3D. It's not a spiritual way of having sex. So for me, that's a 3D thing. When you have to find different ways to keep the spark alive, then that tells me the connection is gone. Like if you have to do something, add another person or add toys and stuff like that, then that connection is not there. That spiritual connection is not there. And then it's all just 3D and it's all, material basically in flesh and the avatar. That's the only reason why you need to pull something in, because that ego part is got bored. But as long as the energy and stuff is still there, I don't think the spark will ever go away. So I don't know if that answers your question, KJ. How about you, Mark? What do you think?
Yeah, I get the part about the spiritual and the energy. Yeah, you definitely, if it's there, it should never die out. You always going to be into each other because you have that connection. But on the other side, I still feel, and you hit the nail on the head. If it's the 3D or low vibrate, whatever you want to call it, if you both are like that, I think that's not bad. That's still kind of connecting on the same level. If you like doing different things or doing role play or whatever it is, it's just something that both of you enjoy to just keep it going. I don't think it has to be that, oh, if we don't do this, it sucks. We ain't gonna have fun being with each other. I just think it's just something added to keep it spicy. And I wouldn't deem it as we lost the connection energy wise if we add a little something different to it. To me, I just feel like that's just adding something just to be creative. I don't think the spark has to be totally lost. If you do that, I just think that's another way of keeping it going and just extra. I look at it as extra, like a bonus or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to find the right word, but I feel like if you haven't lost the connection in general, period, with the spiritual part of it, and you just wanted to add something to it, I don't really think that's bad. I don't think that's, again, you trying to use that to keep the spark. Now, if you just don't have it, then yeah, then you probably are losing that spiritual connection. But if you still have it, you just want to add a little spice to it, I don't think it's that bad. You know what I mean? Just depend on each individual, but me personally, I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. Like if you like to do a little extra, do that. But just don't feel like that's the only way you're gonna keep it going. Cause yeah, then y'all don't have that same connection as you did without doing that. So I
Okay,
would
so
tell them never do that, huh?
so this is why I don't know if you had this experience, but I had it. Have you ever been around somebody where their sexual energy was so high
Mm-hmm.
and like not even say just their sexual energy, but their energy is so attractive to you, you just connect
Yeah.
on such a
Yeah.
level that you can't explain?
Mm-hmm.
So to go back to KJ's question,
Yeah.
that's why I personally don't believe you have to do anything extra because I experienced that before. I know what that feels like. So to answer your question, KJ, because who I am and what I believe in, I would tell that person to, whoever they're with, is to try to reconnect with that person on a spiritual level. And once you get on that spiritual level and your energies connect, you won't need anything outside of that because that energy is so strong and the connection is so strong that once you do engage in it, it's just going to be at another level. Like my personal, one of the things that I'm looking forward to and want is to have a sexual experience, spiritual sexual experience energy. Now, I don't know how true this was. It could have just been something that was made up, but it was this guy in all places. He was in a strip club and he was a hypnotist. And the woman was sitting down and she didn't believe that he could make her have an orgasm by hypnotizing. And he said something. He said, I want you to orgasm for me. And she was sitting in a chair and she had an orgasm. I don't think it was fake either. So I know some women can fake it, but it looked real. So the point I'm getting to is like, not to go into another whole different discussion, but when you're dealing with energy and mental and all that stuff, because sex is all mental anyway, once you get on that level, I'm telling you, nothing else, you won't need anything else. But I want to get back to the comments. So Diamond says, keep in mind, my passive aggressive behaviors of the past are over. I like to consider myself evolved and moving toward more authentic behaviors. Okay. That's good. You're maturing, you're ascending. You have any comment on that?
No, I mean that's good. Like you said, that's good to hear that we all should hopefully change and evolve from what we were before, especially if it was in a negative aspect. So that's good that you could do that and admit it, that you have, done that, and can see now that you're totally different from that. So that's a plus. That's real good. I mean, I love that. That's a good thing to be able to say, hey, I'm not the same person, or I'm not that type of person to do that. That's always good. So I love that. That's good stuff.
Okay. All right, let me see if we got any more comments. All right, so no more comments. All right, beautiful people, this is going to be a short one today. Again, I want to thank those that participated, KJ, Diamond Girl, and the other people that's watching. We appreciate y'all. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Like, comment, share, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Again, this will be posted. It will be edited on Wednesday, and it will be actually available on Spotify as well. And to find the Spotify link, if you go to the YouTube page, Day&Night, the link is underneath the bio or right underneath the logo. So again, Your thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your reality. Love y'all. Appreciate you. All right. Until next time, what you got, Marie?
And same thing, just appreciate everybody, Diamond Girl, KJ, everybody that's watching. Hopefully be a point where y'all want to engage and we get other people to comment and get engaged. But thank you guys. STS, I'm cutting short because I know Matt got to go. Whatever we're doing, we've got to stay focused. We got to trust our process, and you most definitely got to stay consistent. So on that note, enjoy your weekend, and we see you guys next weekend.
Peace
out.
All right.